Start streaming. Okay. Alright, so I'll send the link in a second. See if
Okay.
anyone's even online. Alright, cool. So I've sent the link. People that are watching later are probably going to listen in and hear this. So hello everyone. I have a couple people, well, at least one person chatting with me, asking me questions. Yeah, we'll see if anyone else happens to pop in, but I'm just going to go through a good amount of the coins, go through my process, find anything that looks good, kind of just go from there. So we'll just give it a sec, give it a minute or two.
Yeah, I think what happens is if I talk through this, then I hear myself from
I'm
the
not sure.
stream with a lag.
Can you? I don't know. Open the stream and I'll open the stream actually. Let's see if I can hear you.
I hear myself from
I'm
the
not sure.
stream.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can hear you on the stream too. So yeah, anything you say comes through. So I don't know, like basically just don't ask like too many questions and don't I don't know, don't bombard the stream if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'll mute myself.
Okay, yeah, whatever works. But yeah, if you have any questions, just chime in. Even like
Sure.
just cut me off. Sometimes I'll just keep yapping. Alright. I'll probably go over how easy some of these coins were, because they're clear as day. They should have been caught, but there's a couple new ones on my radar, which is good. So oh shit. Alright, well, good enough. I guess I'll hop into it now. So the usual way that I go about doing a scan from the very beginning, depending on which coins I want to look at first. Oh, you left chat. Well, it doesn't matter. The usual way I go about scanning is I start with the futures coins or the majors. Just gives me a general idea what the market's doing, and obviously could give us a potential leverage position. So yeah, usually I start with the 4-hour on these. Depends where we really want to start here, but as usual I just go ahead and set horizontal levels where price has respected previously multiple times. And yeah, so there. That would have been an easy entry at the point, but I'll kind of go over that. These are all easy potential flips that we could have bought, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to go about explaining this. I guess I'll use this replay tool because it's pretty damn... Yeah, I can turn the music down for sure. Sorry. So now let's say we were back here. This didn't exist yet. So what we see here is we have this previous high here. We can even put a little hammer there. So we know that's the most recent high and um, the most recent resistance level. So that's an area that we need to keep an eye on. I'll even mark it here. So we can say once we flip this previous resistance into support, that could be a buy trigger. And it also could be a buy trigger right here at the flip of this high that we just had. So our plan right here is wait for the flip of this level, retest, bounce up, break of that resistance, retest, and go. So sitting right here, we can just mark these two levels. Obviously, we don't want to take any action right now because yes, we're sitting on the 4-hour MAs, which look quite nice. They're flipped underneath us as support. We're riding it up. But yeah, we wouldn't want to buy right here because with the resistance being right here, that's only 3% up and, infinity down. So it doesn't make sense. We want to at least wait for the flip into support so that our invalidation can be tight and we can exit on a closed blow and keep it much tighter if that makes sense. So so let this play out. We've already set our potential bid zones. Once we flip this level, we can buy the retest, and once we flip this level, we can buy the retest. And you can zoom out if you want to. Probably a good idea. And just set some more resistance levels above just for potential take profit levels. So just because we bounced up here as support previously, and if here, right here is resistance previously, and those are just two nice levels above us. Okay, so let's play it out and see what happens. Wait for the flip. So we've flipped it on this 4-hour candle right here. Retested it perfectly, so our bids would be filled. No action now, so if we now close below here, we'd exit. If we keep going, good, you just, let it ride out. Look, and there's the flip once again. So we've now flipped this previous resistance level. You could have bid that retest again, so now we'd be fully filled on our long. And all you need to do now is, move up your stop losses and see what happens. Okay, so that would have been, it closed below there, we would have exited. Now we want to either wait for another retest of this green level or a flip again of this level. So now we'll play it out again. That's really ugly choppy, eh? So yeah, still no action. Want to wait for the flip of that level. Once again, flip that level, you would have bought in. And yeah, you just let it ride out. If you really wanted to, you could have taken some profits here at that level that we marked out. Once you get to resistance, you could have sold it, wait for the flip. Wait for the flip as usual. To long it again. You let it ride out, look at that. Could have sold again at resistance, but that Chad candle made it so that, what kind of orders do you place on Nance? Okay, hold on, yeah, I'll go over that in a minute. So overall, there was a bit of choppy price action, obviously not gonna lie. But it's just these simple SR flips that we're buying is kind of the gist. Stop profit limit orders. So yeah, someone's asking what kind of orders do I place on Binance. I very rarely market buy, or at least I try not to. It's a really bad habit to get into. You want to set up your plan as early as possible. So let's set up a current plan right now, based on a current chart. So look, there's this Neo chart right here. Right away, I see that our previous high is right here. Boom. with the hammer. So that was a previous resistance level, and look, price is at that level. Hold on, I'll mark it with my usual green box here. So right away, you can see that price closed above this previous resistance. We're retesting it right now, or we just did at this 1150, 1152 basically. So I'd set a limit order at 1152, and I'd set a stop loss. Well, I'd set a stop loss on the close below, but you could, if you wanted, you could set a hard stop, like an actual stop loss. It's pretty tricky, right? Because there's this massive
Hello.
candle. Oh, hello, hi Dimitri, what's up, man?
Are you talking to yourself?
No, I'm talking to stream, so like, and they can probably hear you too. So, but yeah, you can come chill with me. I'll get a little lonely in here, and I don't really like talking to myself anyway. So, but yeah, I'm just going over like the Neo chart right now. I think it looks quite good for a simple SR play.
BTC?
USD. If you open the 4-hour, there's like the previous horizontal high at, what is this? Yeah, 1152. We basically closed above that 1152 and we just like retested it. So I think that's a pretty clean entry right there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What are you in at the moment? Have you
Right.
done any new trades?
Right now, I'm still deciding. I just woke up, so I'm deciding between a few of the majors that I think that look really good. Neo's like one of the top ones though, and I think Chinese coins are pumping a bit today. So yeah, I keep like mumbling. I think I need to drink more coffee.
Oh, this deck is not too well.
All right, guys.
What was I in?
Yeah, what are you in? Let's go over Dimitri's coins. That might help make things a little smoother.
I'm just on XTZ since like 4 days.
Okay.
And I entered Dash earlier today, but it's quite small. Like most of my balance is at XTZ.
Yeah, Krillin's in Dash too, isn't he?
Yeah, Dash. I entered Zek, but I got stopped out. It was like a tight stop loss. I entered like on a scalp, which Krillin posted actually.
Yeah. Yeah, Tesla's looks pretty good though. For anyone who's watching my stream, I'll mark out the chart again. Show Dimitri the light. So mark here at this high.
Thank you.
Mark it here where price is respected multiple times. I don't know if you. I'll just use like the brush tool and start doing hammers and shit all the time. Like the brush tool. Oh my god, I can hear myself. Whoever's listening to the stream, can you mute that? Yeah, so you can see prices respected this level like multiple times in the past. That would have been a really good entry right there. 286. 286 would have been a pretty good entry. 4-hour MAs look pretty damn good. Next level of resistance is $3.03, I think. Yeah, that's red market. We're even retesting this. You could even argue to enter here, or add on to your position here, just because prices bounced here a handful of times previously as well. Yeah, no, that looks pretty good. It's not a huge gap until the next level. Well, 4%. 4% on leverage. If you do a 5x long, that's a quick 20% move. So, what's your leverage, Dimitri?
5x.
Yeah, so.
And yeah, my average price was quite good. I think I got in at 2.74.
Oh damn, you got a really good entry.
And yeah, I plan on holding this until like
2.74.
3.5, 3.3 at least. I hope it's gonna continue.
Yeah, Tezos looks good. Like, there's a lot that, like, I don't know. that look quite good for a fairly significant move. Like this one hasn't really got to pop yet. It's, you know, rejected from this like 286 level so many times. We're finally flipping it and holding it. Where's the next resistance after that? 303. Just zooming out to the daily for anyone watching. I'm gonna mark a
320.
couple daily levels. Yeah, so there's.
I got 320, 330 on my the ones I drew on my
Yeah, it's
chart.
pretty close. I just did some quick horizontals on the daily. People are probably like, how the heck are you doing that? Well, we rejected here as resistance once. You can see price played around here a handful of times, and then this is the like local high on the daily. So I have $3.03, then 318, 330, and then 361. I think that's pretty conservative too. Like I think we could easily hit all of those if we keep trending. And the daily MAs are starting to come up too. So yeah, no,
Oh yeah, I'm
good.
in Matic as well. That's been a waste of time so far.
They're
but
still in it.
Yeah, it's a waste of time, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna hold on now.
Sorry?
I'm gonna hold on now because it is at a
Everyone
good
listening,
level.
don't be a hodler like Dimitri. He's gonna be a community member posting in their forum.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a huge waste of
Oh
time.
shit,
But
yeah, no, it doesn't look
I'm
great.
still gonna like if this level I think is quite important to hold. And a lot of people had their stop losses at 250, 240. So like
Yeah.
most people would have been stopped out now, I think. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold it for it's gonna be a swing if it goes well.
Yeah, I think
And
it's fine if you're willing to hold on to it for a while.
Yeah.
But
and XTZ as well. Gonna be for a while.
XTZ looks great though. Like I think. Yeah, I don't know. Matic's a little iffy in my books there, man. Oof. Yeah, no, that's I don't know, man. 4-hour MAs are starting to curl against us. Or daily MAs. SMMA 7 looks alright.
I just like the EMA 25 on the 12-hour chart versus the Bitcoin pair.
So you like one MA on the 12-hour chart?
Yeah, but it's a good one.
And the 1-hour MAs are all flipped as resistance on the BTC pair. It needs a good shove up, I think. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what's it called? That trading competition probably put a like strain on like the natural price movement or price action. So we'll see. I don't know. It definitely has some work to do. So
Fuck.
what else looks good? There's a few.
I missed TRX last night. After I sent you the fucking thing in the group, I'm a little bit upset. On the 4-hour, it flipped 200 MAs.
I mean, there's literally like a million things that we missed. I'm kind of mad. Like, if you look at VET on the like 1-hour.
BTC?
USD. There's like a ton of just like simple, like SR flips.
Yeah.
Like constantly, for easy moves.
Oh well.
Yeah, well. So I'm trying to find the next one.
The next one.
Yeah, no, I think Neo might be the next one. Neo, Tezos, XLM looks really good too, actually.
Yeah, XLM. If it follows ADA, it's got so much left in the tank.
Yeah.
And it looks quite similar. I compared it in the last few days. It's very similar.
Good. So anyone like watching the stream right now, if you had an XLM like naked chart in front of you, you'd be like, well, I don't know what to do with this. What I had drawn was just a simple trend line that you could see price respecting. Bang. 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 So, rejected once, rejected twice, rejected 3 times, closed above, retested, and now we're on our way. So you could have easily just bought this retest right here. If you also set a horizontal at this previous, like this is our local high. We haven't gone higher than this or closed higher than this. I think once we, let me just delete this one. So this would have been entry zone number 1, breakout, retest. And then I think this, once flipped, which obviously it hasn't for now, it's a big hammer there for now, but once it does flip, and we get that nice juicy check mark at 7.0756, I think that'll be entry zone number 2. Flip of previous high. Yeah, but for now, no, I wouldn't enter that. The BAT looks pretty good too. There was this SR
Yeah.
flip number 1 right here.
And it hasn't pumped, I think.
No, not really. It hasn't done a lot yet. So rejected here. Close above, retest it perfectly. You cut along there. Massive bullish candle here. Retested, probably got front run because people all wanted to buy in. So you can see that candle didn't quite touch as low as we wanted, but there's probably a bunch of people watching it. They're like, oh my god, I want to buy, and then you can see it was bought up all the way to there on the 4 hour. I think this is going to go for a leg up soon, probably. It's going to go tap this previous high.
On the BTC pair though, on the 4 hour at least. So it needs to flip that. Or it did, but it's like very close.
Yeah.
That resistance.
It's looking pretty good. So that's like there's 11% gap, almost 11% gap up until the next SR. Like just have a 10x long. You made 100%. Pretty easy if you just bought, any of these retests. What else do we got? Link looks pretty good. I think it's struggling to hold this level. Looks pretty similar to XLM, but I'll mark it up if anyone gives a shit. Just draw a nice little trend line here. You can see rejected there, rejected there, rejected there. Tried to flip it here, but rejected there. Retested and flipped here. Could have bought this retest, 5x long or something like that. Put a stop loss on a close back below this trend line that we drew. I'll thicken it. Stop loss on a close back inside, which it never did. And it was an easy 6% before leverage so far. Do that on a 5x leverage, that's a quick 30%. So this is simple, like trend line and SR flips are so goddamn easy, yet so profitable. But
what time is it there? You running?
10:30. Yeah, I know it's pretty early. I just woke up, went and got a coffee, and I mumbled for the first like 15 minutes of my stream. I'm still like not fully awake, so I'm trying to like get in the groove. You know, I haven't actually looked at any charts today, so I'm still trying to just see what looks good and what to go over. I think Storm looks pretty good actually. I don't know if you give a shit about non-futures coins right now. Oh, Poly is ripping actually. Holy shit.
Storm, yeah. It's
should have just held on to Poly. Like, I don't know, whoever's watching this stream, they've probably seen this chart before that I had. We actually used even an active call to buy the breakout and retest right here, and which was like absolutely perfect. Price built up within this wedge, bang bang,
boom,
and just kept respecting it. Broke out, retested. If you literally just held on to it and like put a stop loss on a close back inside of this wedge, you'd be 112%. Like, that's pretty damn cool. And then if you missed that initial breakout down here, you could have waited for the breakout and retest of the 200-day EMA, which is also perfect. Like, look how clean that is. Broke out, retested it, held it absolutely perfectly, and that would have just itself been a quick 54%. So easy plays. I don't know why I don't know, I shouldn't be missing this stuff, but it's hard to have eyes on everything sometimes. So, yeah, I think Storm looks good. I'll delete my chart and do it all over again, but didn't you chart it one day or no? Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, what was the dollar pair?
Yeah.
Look at the EMA 25 on the 4 hour on the dollar pair. That's so clean. Should actually. Yeah.
I don't even think I have the 25 EMA on my chart. Holy shit. Yeah, this thing is ripping actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. You could have walked 4 times.
Jesus.
It bounced off that MA.
Yeah, no, it looks actually pretty good still. Like, I'll send you my chart in a minute though. I'm gonna do it from scratch, but it's been in a range for over a year now on the BTC pair that it's like, well, almost a year. But so for anyone watching, got the daily chart open, deleted everything on my chart. Gonna set some horizontals as I usually do. You can see the daily MAs are all reset, which one is phenomenal. They were all scattered as resistance. It's pretty disgusting. You can see prices kind of tried to move up, but still had these MAs in the way that knocked it down. But now, right here, where we are right now, all MAs are underneath this as support. So that's like a massive check mark off my list. And you can see it's been in this range. It's respected it quite well, actually. Here's our top that we've rejected off multiple times. Can't seem to close above it. And this is our bottom that we haven't closed below. Use a little date tool from when we got in it and never left. 304 days in this range. That's a pretty damn long time. That's a year. And as you can see recently, MAs are flipped as I mentioned, and price is banging against this resistance over and over again. I think in the next few days, if not like today or tomorrow, we're gonna close above. So once we close above 22, so if we close at 23, bid the retest at 22, mega tighten validation. Because if we close back in the range, we exit. But close above, you bid. There's pretty decent gaps between SR levels. You can see price bounced here previously. Price bounced here previously. You could even mark one here if you want to be aggressive at your take profit levels. Here, here, here. Yeah, okay. Someone in chat's asked me to look at some coins. I'll look at them in a minute. I want to just finish this one up. So, yeah, no, this one I think looks quite good. Next SR is 56% up on the BTC pair. 56%! That's so good. We keep a close eye on this one. I think Raven needs to get a move on. Oh look, it actually is getting a bit of a move on. So, I'm sure all of you who are watching have seen my Raven chart a million times. We've had this falling wedge for how long? It's 186 days. That's quite a long time. Daily MAs look okay. Some of them are underneath, but some of them still above, which is perfectly fine. 4-hour MAs, I was concerned that we lost them. We kept trying to reclaim, rejected, reclaim, rejected, but now we have this massive bullish candle and that we're holding. We closed above. So I think Raven might actually get a move up, hopefully this week. You could, if you're not in a position yet, you could bid this 4-hour 200 EMA retest right here at around 220. first point of resistance that I'm looking at. You could even mark one here at this high here if you want to be aggressive. So if you bid 220, take profit just below 238. That's 8%. That's before leverage if you want to do it on margin or FTX. That's obviously significantly more. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just ride the 4 RMAs up. Hopefully we can start moving. Yeah, seeing that Maddox died, I think people might on the margin platform want to now ride its like twin brother Raven, and the chart's looking quite good overall. So I have a bag. I'll keep riding that bag out.
So you have Matic as well?
Not Matic anymore. I cut my Matic. I did. I was like I had a pretty big bag, but once it started losing like its lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame, I was like, I didn't really. Oh, look at this. It's trying to chat through the 1 hour MAs we were talking about. So it might, I don't know. It might have been a bit of a fake out to scare people out. I'm not in any position. Maybe if we break through this trend line that I've drawn, or we might even build up in this like little wedge type of thing, I guess you can call it. But once you flip this, then maybe I'll buy. There's too much fuckery on Matic though, and there's so many people watching Matic right now that it's like, I don't know, it turns me off from trading it. Even though there's a shit ton of volume and it likes to pump really damn hard, it's a little intimidating. So we'll see what happens. But I was looking at CHZ the other day. I think Dimitri said, "Oh no, I don't like that big candle." So well, it looks pretty bomb though. Look at that. I'll send you this chart, Dimitri. You're probably not watching the stream, so. I think it looks really good actually. I had this marked out before stream even started. I initially, I think it was when price was down here, I marked this high here. So we've clearly flipped that nasty close below, so that would have been, an invalidation anyway, but this is a more important high right here. You can see price 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times closed right below it. Look at that. Ooh. And now, yesterday, prices closed above, so, and it's retesting right now, so I think it might actually be a good buy here at 119. And the next SR that I have marked is at 145. Excuse me. You could even be a little more aggressive. Move it down here. 142. So bids here at 119. 19% up until next SR level. If you want to be very cautious, you could just exit on a closed buck below this horizontal level for an extremely tight stop loss. If you want to have a manual stop, I'd probably set it down here at around 115. This next SR level we were playing around with. 4 hour MAs look really good. They're underneath us as support. Daily MAs look fine. They kind of look like a bit of a clusterfuck, but they're at least underneath us and starting to curl up. So CHZ actually looks pretty good. I like this chart. I'm gonna add it to my short list. So, and someone was asking me like my process of going through coins. I've gone over that in previous streams before, but I'll kind of go over really quickly what I tend to do. Usually I start on either Binance or Huobi, one of the two exchanges. Usually I just pick which one, has more volume that day, like which one, where the coins are popping off. Obviously right now Binance has a lot of action going on. So I usually start with the Binance exchange, sorted by biggest gainer, only just because like the more gain typically means like where there's the most momentum on a coin. Obviously don't just buy coins that are up 80% already, but just helps me. I don't know, I just find that going through the process that way helps a little bit. So usually start on the daily chart or the 4 hour chart. I think daily gives a better idea of like macro trend, and obviously you want to find a coin that's bottomed out, probably gone sideways for a long time. As you can see, even Poly, for example, went sideways for almost 300 days. I also want to find ones where the daily MAs are flipped underneath us as support. You can see they were tangled for this entire time. Only recently flipped underneath us as support, so that would instantly go on my watch list. Yeah, no, that's pretty much where I start. So starting an uptrend, MAs are flipped or hopefully starting to flip. The 4-hour MAs are going to be flipped before the daily, just because they're more responsive. So it's just a big plus if the daily MAs are underneath you as support, but can take a long time for that to happen, just because it takes them a long time to fully reset underneath us. So I guess I'll start at number 1, trend or downtrend. If it's downtrending, if we're just like going down, we're not reclaiming any previous lows or anything like that, I tend to just ignore it. If something's ranging for like 200 days, doesn't mean it's not going to range for another 100. So you have to, start flipping some levels or get close to it, or something along those lines to get my attention onto it. So uptrend or downtrend. MAs are next, whether it be 4-hour or daily. I do look at the 1-hour MAs, but that's only when I'm trying to find an entry point. I don't really care about them at all when it comes to like shitcoins and getting a position. I mean, like understanding their trend. Micro trend's something good to know, but macro trend, is a lot more important to me. What else? And then number 3, I do any obvious trend lines that I can see. In this case, with poly, these are some obvious trend lines right here. You could just see price was coiling up. So we had this high, higher low relative to this low, lower high relative to this high. So you can just see price is coiling up into this little wedge. And I actually did manage to catch it. I don't know how I managed to pull that off, but we were right here, and the most obvious wedge. So it's a very simple plan. You wait for price to close above, or the breakout, if you will. Wait for the retest. You set your bids at the retest once it's closed above, and yeah, then you just, if you're setting your invalidation, obviously just to close back inside this wedge is no bueno. You never want that to happen. You want it to hold this trend line as support and then move its way up. So I'd have to look back in Discord, but I know the plan was to buy the breakout retest, set our take profit here for nice 37%, just because prices respected it multiple times previously, and I just clicked the play button here. Worked out actually quite perfectly. Once we closed above, we had the retest, and it moved right up to our 37%. Easy as pie. And then yeah, I probably should have. Well, I know we took profit here, but I should have had everyone bid this 200-day EMA retest, just because it is always respected so well. Or I should have set an alert at least at that level to see what would have happened, because look, it bounced on it perfectly here. Didn't close below, didn't even wick too far below, so it could have refilled here. Set a very aggressive take profit there at 398. Set another aggressive take profit there at 517. Another one here, and just let it ride out. And look at that, wicked through the next take profit level for a clean another 47%. Like, how simple is that? That's so easy. At this point, I'd obviously be taking profit at that level because it was resistance previously, right here. And at this point, it's pretty tricky to find another entry. I'd either wait for price come all the way back down here, which I don't think it'll do. It'll be a bearish engulfing as well if it comes back down here. So I'm kind of, at this point, if you really want to get into poly, I'd wait for a flip of this level that we marked out. And by that, if it's not obvious, I mean wait for price to close above here, wait for the retest, and you're bidding the retest once it closes above, and set your next take profit level accordingly. So we'll see how this ages actually. I'll see if which ends up happening, but yeah, we don't really want price to come all the way back down here, then all the way up, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. So that's poly. CHZ I looked at already. Someone asked about, so I added that to my short list already. Just trying to think of what else I go through when I'm looking for coins, but I literally just go one by one. Set my horizontal levels, look at the MAs, look for obvious trend lines, and just shove them on my shitcoin list. I mark them if I think they look good. Oh yeah, I'll check LRC as well. So I'll go back to the naked chart. Yeah, LRC actually looks really good. I was looking at it earlier, that's why it's all, had it well, slightly marked up anyway. So zoom out to the daily chart. I think that's what everyone should be doing when it comes to these coins. You just want to have an idea of like the macro trend or the higher time frame trend, instead of the micro time frame, because you can zoom into the 1 hour, or even like some people do like 15 minutes, and it's like, what's the point of that? You can't really tell what it's going to be doing over the next, few days or weeks, and you can't set targets with this. It's way too choppy. Even the 1 hour, you can see it's uptrending, which is nice, but it's hard to set proper support and resistance levels, proper trend lines. The MAs on the 1 hour are important, but not nearly as important in my opinion as the daily ones. So zoom out on the daily, have our naked chart, set some horizontal levels. Pick this one just because it bounced really clean off of here, and it was bought back once previously. Or I like to pick the bounce points. Just makes things quite simple. Set one there because that was our local daily high. So in here below it says support. What else? Yeah, no. You could argue you could just put it here. It's not a perfect science. Yeah, you can see it rejected here, flipped it, bounces support here, bounces support, bounces support, bounces support, fell through, and went really deep once we lost that important level. Wicked through it, rejected, went even further down because we couldn't flip it. Once again, tried flipping it with the massive candle, brought right back down exactly to the point. But here, finally, once again, we have the nice check mark. So hopefully that made sense. I feel like I talked really fast there, but you can literally just use the brush tool to just confirm the points where price has either has respected multiple times previously. So LRC is definitely a good one to that extent. Usually I keep these on here, but it just doesn't look very clean right now. So to set up a plan, especially since that we've now closed above this previously marked level, you want to set your bids at that level just because that's the tightest invalidation you can get. So right now I'm going to be hoping that price comes back for a retest. It might have already done it on the 4 hour. Nope, 4 hour is once it's closed above, it hasn't actually come back down to that horizontal level. And obviously, as we know, at the same time, price doesn't always come back for a retest. So for all I know, it's gonna close above and just keep going up, which some people like to buy right when it closes above, even if it doesn't come for the retest. Some people like to buy it, all the way up here. I don't really like to do that at any point, just because now our point until invalidation is a lot higher than if we bought it right here. It's like, 2% compared to 6% or whatever it may be. There's times when you'll have these massive Chad greed candles that close above the level you were watching, and then you have like a 20% gap now down till invalidation, which is pretty obviously ridiculous, and you don't want to do that. You're just risking way too much of your portfolio at that point. So this is our entry point now that hopefully we'll get the retest for. Sometimes I set alerts basically right at the level so that it'll get my attention right when it happens. I can see if it's still like a proper setup, and then I can allocate my BTC right to that point. Instead of having scattered limit orders between all these different coins you think that look good, that's why you just set alerts so that if any of the, let's say 10 coins come to your entry zone, you can quickly hop over to it, allocate however much Bitcoin you want to it. Instead of having it scattered between 10 different coins, you could then, use that, 30% of your Bitcoin, or I don't know, however much you're allocating to your position size, you can get in right away. So that's my tip of the day, I guess. A nice 18% gap up. 4 hour, daily MAs look good, 4 hour MAs look good, 1 hour MAs look good. So overall, it's a good looking chart. And then there's the 2 horizontal levels that we had marked. So we want to come down for the retest, fill our bids. You could wait for it to come up here. You could sell resistance, or you should sell resistance. You could wait for the flip and the retest to buy some more. It's the same thing over and over, guys. You're just buying support, selling resistance, waiting for the close above and retest to buy some more. Wait for the leg up, sell resistance. It might come back down, it might flip it. You never really know what's going to happen. Obviously, yeah, because we sell resistance because, price could come up here or go down here, fill our bids, come here. If you don't sell anything, it could easily just come right back down and you wouldn't have taken any profit. And then if you didn't move up your stops, which you should, but if you didn't, price could keep going down, hit your stop, and then you're at a loss when you could have had an easy 18%. So it's always good to keep a close eye on your coins as well, just because it's always a piss off when you just miss your take profit, and it just sinks back down to your entry or to your stop loss, and that's a major piss off. So that's LRC. Hopefully that kind of covered it. I see you're typing, so let me know if you have any other questions. But those are some super quick take profit levels if you want to get an entry here. I'm gonna add it to my watch list as well. Maybe even set an alert on it, like I was mentioning. Do I use any other momentum indicators to narrow among multiple coins if a bunch of them are above? No, not really. What you see on my setup here is everything that I use. No need to overcomplicate it. And if a bunch of them are above the 200 EMA, for example, that just gives you more options to choose from. And then at that point, you'd if all of them are above the 200 EMA on whichever time frame, then you can check other time frames. You can check the gaps between SR levels. You can check for if it had a massive move up recently. I like to take those off my list. I don't like coins that have ramped up really hard. I can't think of any, for example, off the top of my head. Let's see if I can just find one. Like, let's say GRS, just for example, if we had a massive wake up like that, I really don't like to touch coins that do something like that. But yeah, no, I don't know, some people use like RSI, MFI, Stoke, like I don't know, all these different other indicators. Personally, I haven't found a need for them. There's always so many opportunities and like potential entries that we could get into that I don't know. This method works out really well for me. But yeah, like let's see what Dimitri's setup looks like right now. He probably uses a whole bunch of shit. And I like fibs a lot too. I need to start implementing those a little more. Where are they? Fibs, fib retracement. Because they can help you get a good idea. That wasn't drawn properly, by the way, but give you a decent idea of different retracement levels for you to look at. Dimitri. What does he use? Yeah, no, see, he doesn't use anything different than me. He has his trend lines. He has his, like, these are usually my green boxes. You can do gray or green. You can do green for entry, red for resistance. It's just showing you points where price has respected, you know, that level multiple times previously. He even uses the brush tool that I was using. So pretty similar setup overall. Usually, well, I've seen him use many different charts, but yeah, look, he's like, look at a bajillion trend lines. So there's nothing wrong with that. It just shows showing a trend in price, and you can potentially use that as an entry point as well, right? Let's see what else. Oops, need that back. Let's go see what my friend Curlin uses. He doesn't. I don't think he uses much else either. Yep. Look. It's very simple. Set his horizontal levels. Set his trend line levels. Use the long position tool, which is good for. Pull it up here. I think it's just long position. It's just good for, you know, knowing your RR. So for whoever hasn't used this before, it's pretty straightforward. You let's go back to LRC. One that we're looking to enter. I'm sure everyone watching knows how to use it already, but it definitely is a good good tool to use. So you'd set it right at where your entry point is. You would drag this part up to your take profit level, and then you drag this part to your invalidation level, and then your RR right here. Obviously, the higher it is, the better, because the amount you're risking compared to the amount that you're potentially getting. You obviously want to have your reward much higher than your risk, because if you're risking more than you're rewarding, and it's just not a good it's not a good trade to be in. Yeah, so other than that, like, yeah, he's just using MAs. I actually thought he used more than this, but yeah, his just has a different MA setup. He has his volume down there. I don't even know what these ones are, but just different examples of what fuck off people are using. Nika's one of the best. Well, yeah, he was just using MAs at one point, but yeah, using these different oscillators, I don't know, to each their own. Look at this, just one MA. It can be the most effective out there. So, what else? I wanted to take a look at, which one was it? It wasn't BLZ. What was that other one that? Oh yeah, AirSwap. AirSwap was pretty damn easy, and as you guys know, I was a little pissed off that I had it right in front of me. We were here. We're all the way down here. Very simple chart. Daily MAs were flipped. Let's zoom out to the daily like we usually should. So we'd just been basically going sideways / a bit of a downtrend. Nothing too exciting, but once price started getting back into these MAs, these daily MAs, that's like a starting trigger point. This is our previous low as well. Once we were down here, we lost it, but then once we had reclaimed it right here, that's another trigger point. So there's two reasonings to have it on your watch list. You don't want to enter here because you're still below the daily MAs, but it's still a sign added to your watch list. Keep an eye on it. If you set your horizontal levels real quick, just put one there because that was our high. Put one down here because you can see wicked here, held here, wicked here, and then resistance, resistance. And what else? Let's mark a few others here. Mark right here as well. So, zooming in, 4-hour MAs got flipped as well, another trigger point. So even right there, that looks decent for an entry. But the main point that I noticed that we had flipped the 200-day EMA right here. That's a massive check mark on its own. Zoom in on the 4 hour. I saw this was our same thing as we've done this entire time. You set a horizontal at the local high, and once you flip that level, you can buy it. As you can see, I set the horizontal level right here, so that's only a few percent. But anyway, if flipping this high, flipping this high would have been an initial trigger to get in. You can see price kind of struggle to get past it, massive rejection candles, but yeah, you can tell I know there was a lot of volume on this coin at that day, and yeah, like I said, it checked off all the important boxes. Kept getting rejected, kept getting rejected, kept getting rejected. Yeah, and then we had that massive bull candle, and I was hoping we were going to get a retest down here. Get rid of these just to clean it up a bit. I was hoping we were going to get a retest down here. And obviously that didn't happen. I had my bid set, waiting, I had alert set, waiting. Nothing happened, and it kept mooning without us. So that was a bit of a piss off. I didn't get the entry that I was looking to get, and we missed out on 160% move. So that's rough. Alright, so anyone watching, I don't know if you have anything that you want me to go over. I think I've touched on a good amount of stuff. It's only been an hour, so I'm not in a rush to get off by any means. Maybe I'll see if there's any coins that I can get you guys potential entries for while I'm on here. I know BLZ had a crap ton of volume. Pretty big rejection candle right here. A retest of the 200-day EMA would probably, well, would be an interesting entry. I'd like price to close here, and then, like on the daily, come back for the retest of the 200-day EMA, and then continue onwards. But it's at a pretty awkward point right now. Zilla I think looks good. We've had this on our radar for quite a long time. 58 sats, I think, 58, 57 sats was for buying. We're just flipping all of these levels now. This was the next one I had my eye on. We have a pretty clean gap up. Can even move this down and be aggressive. Pretty clean gap up to 209 from here. So, and it didn't even come back for a retest. It was front ran, aka no one wanted it to go back down to that support level, which means buyers are present. But if it did come down to 136, I'd buy that, and 53% up. Until the next SR. And the daily MAs look good. 4-hour MAs look really good. Yeah, no, damn, that looks really good. Zill's on my short list for a reason. Pivx, it's on my list because it's also trying to flip the 200-day EMA. Bit of awkward levels here. 17% gap. I wrote fill gap now. Just because I think it was rejected initially really hard, but now it's once again trying to flip the 200-day EMA. Maybe today once it closes, it'll fill that gap, but I think it looks quite good. Same with Ion. It's been rejected by it once and twice. The daily EMAs are starting to squeeze together, and that should result in some kind of pop. And the next level up is, well, in my opinion, 42% up, just because it was rejected here. And support here multiple times and rejected once again as resistance. So it's just a level we've respected multiple times. I'd set my sells within this area in red. Yeah, but no action for now if anyone's wondering. Wait for the actual 200-day EMA flip, and then we're good to go. So what else do we got? Siege said we talked about. Struggling to hold that 119 level, unfortunately. I'm still going to keep it on my watch list. Price hasn't closed below, so it's, in essence, yes, it's still holding that level. We'll see what ends up happening. Raven keeps doing the same thing over and over. Trying to flip the 4-hour MAs, rejected. Flip the 4-hour MAs, rejected. Flipping the 4-hour MAs, massive red candles so far, but still sitting on top of the MAs, which is a really good sign. Even potential entry right here as we marked. between 220, even up to 222 where it is right now. Not a bad idea. Please check RDN. Okay, I'll look at RDN in a second. ENG looks pretty good. I had this marked for a while as well. Just because this horizontal level was respected, it was flipped, but then rejected, and now it's flipped once again. If you wanted to play, just bid here, basically where we are now. Excuse me, I'll set some horizontal levels as usual. So price bounced here, so I'll mark one there, and it was rejected here, but I'm mainly marking it because of this bounce. Could put one up here, just because you can see I'm only just marking points that have been respected previously. So 4-hour MAs look good, daily MAs look pretty good. We flipped the 200-day EMA, which is addict influence. The rest of the daily MAs are starting to catch up. It wouldn't be a bad idea for price to go sideways for a little bit, just to give them more time to reach current price. What else? Let's mark another one right there. So now we have our take profit levels marked. This one's only 6% away, not phenomenal. But then once we flip that level, it's 22, and then another, I want to say like 20, no, 15%. Yeah, so overall looks good. I'm not sure if I'll post a setup on it, but I might have to actually. 1 hour, 4-hour daily MAs all look really good, so that's staying on my list. What else do we got here? Link. Yeah, it's looking a little ugly. My entry point was going to be here on this horizontal I had marked. It is holding it right now. It's sitting on it right now. But it struggled to hold this horizontal level. I would have liked for it to flipped here, bounced here, and kept moving on, but we'll see how this one goes. Adam, again, these are all my shortlist, and they're on my shortlist for a reason. A lot of them just have to do with the 200 EMA, whether it's on the 4-hour or the daily. Clearly, this one's on the 4-hour. Set some quick levels. Boom, boom. This is the previous high. Like relative to being here. Tried flipping it, but clearly we're rejecting for now. We'll see if it gets bought up before the close. But potential entry would be if price manages to come back up and hold it. I'll just draw it out. So if it goes up, holds it, and moves up. Next SR is 5% away, which isn't crazy, but it's on margin. So, and you could have some quite nice tight validation on that one as well. So let's go to RDN. Is anyone even watching my stream other than like? Yeah, okay. RDN. So I guess I was looking at this one earlier. 4-hour MAs look okay. Daily MAs, we're sitting below the 200-day EMA, so I'd like to buy the flip of that. We've rejected off of it twice now so far. Set some horizontal levels to begin with. Set one here at this high. Set one here up at this high. You can set one here. Yeah, so we're kind of tangled in. See, bounce, bounce, support, fell through, resistance, 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 flipped it, support. You can just see price is tangled here a lot, and that's kind of where we are now. So I would like to get above these levels before I got into any kind of position, but you could wait for the flip of this level or the flip of this level. But as you can see, with all these horizontal levels, these are resistance levels, obviously. So the most ideal would be just to get above all of them and then buy the retest of that one. Just because you don't want to be buying within an entanglement of resistance. So yeah, once we flip that level, that would be even more ideal. Or just the 200-day EMA retest if you want it, just because that really, in reality, should hold. So we'll see. Yeah, overall it looks okay. I'll keep my eye on it. I'll add it to my watch list. There's just a lot of like all this price action that we're seeing right here is, you know, we're probably going to get tangled within this, you know, when we get to that point. So, but then, you know, it once we get through all this mess, we should, there's some pretty big gaps between levels from there. So we'll see what happens. MBL. I wish this one would have moved up by now. But daily MA still look fine. 4-hour MAs are squeezing together. I still have my bag from 19, so I'm hoping that it can, you know, do something in the near future. What about SSP? Yeah, so this is my only Hyobi call open right now. Haven't had a chance to do much scanning on it. So, Buddy asked if I check for any news events with any coins that come up. I usually leave that up to Ricky. Ricky usually tells me if there's any news events coming up. But if a chart looks good and there's news from Mickey, that's a really good reason in my opinion to get in. Just because news doesn't always make coins move, but I don't know, usually has a bit of significance. Today, Polly pumped after once such pump group posted on their channel. Yeah, well, yeah, pump groups are awful. Ignore them. If you ever see a coin getting called in pump groups, I think it was what, nulls or Nebel or something. Yeah, I don't know if it was nulls. What did Nebel look like? See, Ricky told me about nulls, and we should have caught that one. That was easy. It was a trendline flip as well, which would have also been easy. Yeah, Nebel I think was the one. I don't know. EVX2, yeah. EVX is the thing with EVX and OAX, the one that likes to move with. Yeah, look at that. Like, that's what a scam. So the books are so thin. There's a few like that. Nav, EVX, OAX. What else is there? There's a handful of others that just have like GRS. There's a few that just have no liquidity, and just a few Bitcoin can, you know, shove it each way. And if you have a pump group that just like all market buys at the same time, and you know sells at the same time, it's just gonna be a big clusterfuck like this. Yeah, there's a few, so just ignore those. There's no point in trading those, and it's you're probably gonna lose money on them if you don't get in at the bottom anyway. So let's just do a quick scan of Binance though. Tell you if there's any that just kind of like catch my eye. Let's go back to the daily, see if there's anything that looks really good. And usually when I'm going through, I go between both the 4-hour and daily. Like I check them both typically. But ones that are kind of tangled in the daily MAs, I don't even pay any attention to. Storm, like I said, looks really good. I want to flip that 22 quickly. BCPT, trying to flip the 200-day AMA. Too early to get in. Seeing that we didn't get in at this horizontal retest earlier that I had marked. Gas, trying to flip the 200-day EMA. It's too soon for now. Once it's flipped, maybe. Civic had the 200-day EMA retest the wick perfectly. If you caught that, GG, but now it's too late. Tangled in the daily MAs, no action. IOTA, already moving. Tangled, no thanks. FET. Yeah, FET's starting to look okay. Once we flip this level that we've rejected off twice now. Fuck, that was ugly. Wow, I can't draw. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, once we flip that level, maybe I'll consider getting a position, because the MAs are looking good. I think Chapiador was asking me about it when we were all the way back here. We just had a fall. We were going sideways. And he's like, what do you think of FET? And I was like, nope, definitely not. Daily MAs look horrible. 4-hour MAs also looked horrible. I knew I needed time for them to reset, which that's exactly what it did. It's gone sideways since. Now starting to flip them. I don't know which MA this is. I want to say this is the 100 MA. So we might see a squeeze between them and price pop. But yeah, once we flip that 271 level, I'd consider getting an entry just because there's a nice, look at this gap. There's no price action at all between like this level and this level because it just fell right through. So there should be minimal resistance when you have these candles, and this is exactly what you look for. You want there to be these massive candle gaps between SRs just because it makes it allows price to move up through those levels so much easier. So one to keep an eye on. I might actually just add that to my list just because I'll be looking to play that. OST, MAs look shitty. INS, MAs look kind of shitty. On the daily anyway. 4-hour, you could have played the retest, but don't think it looks great. Zill we talked about. GTO has a daily MA gap of 23%. Yeah, just a little too choppy for me. You could bid the flip of this level if you wanted to. Change this back to green. That wouldn't be a terrible idea. Yeah, that's really about it for that one. Nothing mind-blowing. QLC with the massive rejection candles, that's always a bad sign. Yeah, you can see big pump, fall is probably used by pump and dump groups. Yeah, Fib looks okay, kind of similar thing. You could put the horizontal at the recent high that we want to beat. Once we get above it and close, you buy the retest and you go up. Next resistance 200-day EMA, 20% up. Bit of price action here that, you know, might not allow us to go up as easily as we might want to, but we're reclaiming previous lows and MAs are starting to get flipped. So it, it looks alright, looks okay, not mind blowing, but might even be worth keeping an eye on, worth watching. Yeah, VET, not as pretty. Yeah, it looks okay, I guess. VT wouldn't have been that hard to get, so you just set your horizontal levels as usual. I feel like I'm pretty damn repetitive right now, but it's honestly the same process every single time. Yeah, no, put that a little lower. So yeah, horizontal level lines up perfectly with the 200-day EMA. That would have been your entry trigger. Once you flip it, can you show how you use chart alert? Yeah, I'll do it in one sec. Yeah, so for anyone wondering, I signed up for chart alerts. .io. DevChart is the one who created it. It's actually a really neat tool. You basically go on their website. Once you've signed up for an account, it's a subscription based. I forget how much it is per month. I don't know, like $20 or $25 or something. Yeah, and you can set different alerts. Price close above or below the 200 EMA. You can do all different types of EMAs. What else you can do? You can do price approaching resistance. So then you can get your eyes on it, and then once it flips, you could buy, and it does vice versa. Price approaching support, so that you could, potentially set your bids. There's so many different ones you can use. Price breakout confirmed. Yeah, and you can do it for all Binance coins. They're trying to get Huobi coins on here, which would help me so much. But I don't know, at least helps with Binance for now. It helps me get my eyes on coins pretty quickly. Yeah, no, that's really about it. It's a really straightforward platform. I think I recommend it to anyone who's yeah, people are chatting it up today. Yeah, I recommend it for anyone who. I know that there's also that TradingView tool, this crypto screener. I don't know. I just like the fact that it. Well, I haven't played around with it enough, so I can't comment and I can't compare too well. I need to dig into it a little more, and it's free. But I don't know what its limitations are. I just like the convenience of getting these alerts to Telegram, and they're just nice and clean, and they're exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, like even right here, seller 1 hour price. I probably should remove the 1 hour. I don't 1 hour 200 EMA retest is good, but I like the 4 hour and daily a lot more. And this thing at one point last week was sending me like a few hundred a day. Obviously, it's really hard to keep up with that many, so I usually well, I don't ignore them, but I need to you know, remove some of the alerts so that I get only the ones I'm really keen on looking at. So I don't know. Hopefully that was clear. I think it's just honestly best if you guys give it a shot for yourself, but yeah, it gives you can give you a lot of information without, you know, removes a lot of the manual labor, I guess you could say, because it is time consuming to go coin by coin by coin. But if you get an alert, you can obviously open it right away. So I'm trying to implement it more in my daily use. I got a thumbs up. Okay, good, awesome. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has any more questions. That's basically the gist of my scanning. I just look at the MAs, uptrend or downtrend, and any obvious trend lines. But a lot of these coins are just banging against the daily MAs. That's the easiest way to scan through. If the MAs look like shit, just move to the next one, because there's bound to be coins that look good. And if we're downtrending, move on to the next one. Like, you can X them off pretty damn quick, and I can usually get through an exchange within, I don't know, 15 minutes or so if I'm wanting to go nice and quick, and then just flag off the ones that I think look decent, and then I dive in a little deeper into those. Maybe I missed the 4 hour MAs, don't look great compared to the daily, or maybe there's small SR gaps between like the small gaps between SR levels, or maybe we're hitting a trend line that I initially missed that we'd have to flip for me to be interested, or you know, just whatever it may be. That's probably the best way, well, at least that I've found, to you know, go through each. But like I said, this chart alerts will help quite a bit. I think help me get my eyes on it instead of going through Exchange once or twice a day. I'll get that instant notification and can hop in it right away. So yeah, I think that's really about it. Yeah, seller looks okay actually. Mana looks good. Yeah, mana does look okay. It's daily MA squeeze. It's been struggling to hold that 200-day EMA. If you zoom out though, which is always best to do, always zoom out if you're confused about what's going on or trying to decide if it's good potential entry, just zoom out and you'll get a better idea of macro trend. But yeah, mana's been going sideways for a long damn time. If you happen to, yeah, there's a lot of us, opportunity cost wise, it wouldn't make sense to have bought this bottom back here in November, because the daily MMAs looked like shit. It was a double bottom, but to hold on to this shitcoin for so damn long, yeah, damn, that would suck. But it's been going sideways for, yeah, a year. It's been going sideways for a year, so we flipped the daily MAs, or we're at least trying to at this point, so it's one to actually keep watch. I want to start getting above these horizontal levels that we've marked though, because as you can see, there's a bit of resistance here, but once we start getting above them, the gaps between SRs get a lot higher. So yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't buy until at least starting to flip these levels, or I'd bid the 200-day EMA retest and just kind of see where she goes, but we'll see. And there's some coins with little price history, which makes it really hard to chart. That's why you kind of have to zoom in on the 4-hour, but OGN actually starting to look okay. Yeah, just trying to flip the 4-hour MAs here. It's a thick trend line. Yeah, and I just like, I don't know, I do draw a good amount of trend lines. It can be hard to get good at them, I guess you could say, or hard to notice them. A lot of people try and force them to fit their bias. You can't be doing that because obviously they're just price isn't going to respect it. But yeah, once you get the hang of it, does get quite a bit easier. So even OGN, you can just see price 1, 2, 3 wicks all within a fairly straight I don't know, very straight line. So you can draw that trend line here. Price is probably going to build up in this, breakout, retest, go up, hit the 4-hour, 200 EMA, maybe get rejected, might flip it. Once you flip, you can buy, flip it, buy, flip it, buy. It's a pretty simple process once you get the hang of it. I think I've said the same thing probably about a dozen times, but it's it just becomes second nature after a while, the process, once you get a good grasp of it. So yeah, even Walton coins starting to look good because it's just sitting in that entry zone that I marked. That's a good thing also about marking up every single chart. You know, once it starts going by your plan, or you don't even realize you had a plan because there's so many coins. You know, once you pull up a chart like this, you can see, well, we flipped that level that we were looking at, we're holding it. You know, we're on the bid zone. Daily MAs are looking pretty good. We have our take profit levels marked already. So all you would really have to do at this point is, yeah, get your entry here and set your take profits accordingly. Set your stop loss and a close below either this horizontal or the 4-hour MAs here, and you're ready to rock. You can go on with your day and, you know, go enjoy the outdoors and let your coin ride. It's pretty easy. Yeah, so I think I'm probably gonna wrap things up here, guys. I've been ranting / mumbling for the past hour and a half. Hopefully you guys got some interesting or useful information out of this. And if you guys need anything, don't hesitate to ask. But I guess I'll look at Bitcoin before I sign off, just because it's what controls the market. Ooh, you know, even just looking at since we started, there's this. It was holding onto this trend line. Now we're seeing that price fell through. It's kind of in the middle of this wedge thing that we've formed. We're still basically mid-range. This was the bottom of the range I had, top of the range up here. Bears are in control. For now, I don't want to close below 9.3 because if you close below 9.3, I think we're gonna just kind of keep falling because the MAs will then be a resistance. They'll start curling against us. Yeah, I don't know why we struggle so hard with 10K. I don't know why it just doesn't go, but in an ideal world, I'd like to just keep ranging. I don't really care where, as long as we stay within this range. We can do this over and over for all I care, because if Bitcoin goes sideways, alts tend to keep moving. So we'll see what happens. Monday's coming up tomorrow. We might see some blood. We might continue to range. It might be a fake out and we'll go to the moon. I don't usually trade Bitcoin very much, but like I said, it's good to have an idea of what it's doing. But looks like we're seeing a bit of a pullback. Yeah, even on Ethereum. Yeah, 247 to 233 sitting on this MA, which is always nice to see. Yeah, and for natural movement, you wouldn't even want something to keep powering through and through because I don't know. It's healthy to have pullbacks. You don't want just green candle after green candle on the daily. Well, it would be nice, but it's not natural, and it's the healthiest is when it goes up. Like higher lows and higher highs are what you want, and that's exactly what we've been doing ever since this big fall. It's just been a steady uptrend over and over again. Yeah, and this was a resistance mark I would have had marked out, and it even hit it to the wick. So we'll see what happens. We might come back down here to the 215 level. That would probably be a really good entry point. We'll see what ends up happening. So that's really about it. Yeah, I'm gonna shut up now and go. I have a bunch of household stuff I have to get done today, so I'll chat with you guys later. If you need anything or want clarity on anything, give me a shout. But I think I'm quite confident we're gonna have a good week ahead of us because there's so many setups that are looking good. I haven't even had a chance to go through Huobi just because Binance coins look so good, but and the volume isn't great on Huobi, as you can see on my screen here. I have it sorted by price on the day. Biggest gainer is only 9%, and then all the way down to like just 1%. There's nothing really drastic. While Binance, I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not amazingly better, but there are the handful of big poppers. So yeah, clearly a lot more volume, a lot more liquidity. You can play with bigger size, and then the leverage coins or futures coins all have some interesting setups. So I'll keep you guys updated on anything interesting that I see. Yeah, wow. Neo puked through. So yeah, I'll go through myself. Ooh, fuck. BAT might be a perfect entry right here, actually, if it holds. We'll see. 4-hour closes in half an hour. We'll see where we're closed before I make any rash decisions. It's always good to confirm your bias before kind of just YOLOing in to anything. You kind of want to see a breakout, retest, but then a confirm bounce. You want price to actually start moving up instead of could just keep falling through like it is now. And if it closes below this horizontal level, it's quick invalidation for me. I won't be looking to touch it until we close back above again. So we'll see. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, hopefully that was not completely useless. I feel like I rambled when I first woke up. Morning streams, I should have a coffee before I start diving in. So thanks everyone. I'll talk to you later.